What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to another edition of Funk from the Front Seat. Today, our very special guest is none other than the amazing Nancy Marie. She's going to be coming in. She's a playwright. She's an author. She's a songstress. She does all these great things in the Philadelphia theater. The X Theater in the X, and we're going to talk about a lot of things that's going on. Her journey through American music, and through American theatrical performances and, what she's done as a playwright and all this other stuff. So y'all sit back, sit tight, because in a minute we get ready to turn it loose. We're going to blow it up. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Today I'm starting out with just this really one special moment of silence for my dog, Amari, and my funk fam in Virginia, Tony Cam and Jackie Cam, who had to take care of their Tony's brother. And we love you, and I know he transitioned up, and that's all good. So, we just want to take that 1 second before we start the show just to acknowledge that we love him, we love the Cam family, and we're sending prayers up to you guys. But right now, we're going to do our normal shout-out around the world as we go and make it funky for y'all up in New York. But we're going to start out in funky Philly, Philadelphia. That's where we're going to start today. So I know y'all need to stay active on the chat line. Please tune in. New York City, where are you at today? Delaware, are you aware? Pennsylvania, the DMV up in the D.C. area. Jersey, you heard? I'm digging y'all way up there in Vermont. I had somebody hit me up the other day. We was talking about Vermont. Down here in North Carolina, South Kakalaki, we got you over there in Virginia. Shout out to my family in Virginia, man. I love all you guys, man. And my my family in Georgia. Yo, I love all you guys out there, man. So that's really, really cool. Also, New Orleans, we got you. Florida, we got you. Oklahoma, we got you. We're going to make this funky up in the MPLS, up in the 313, up in the D. We got you. Detroit, we got you in Chicago. We got you in Indiana. We got you in North and South Dakota. Somebody hit me up from there. I don't even know, but apparently they stumbled across the show. So I'm feeling it. Funk from the Front Seat, live on 9 on the Grind TV every Saturday. Shout out to my guy, Kev, because I know you're working on that. What you going to do when the grid goes down, Bubba? Yo, check it out. California, West Coast, Las Vegas, we got you. Hawaii, Samoans doing the Humpty Hump. Tokyo, I'm Young Hasei, yo. From Harlem to Moscow, we got you, man. So check this out, right? All around the world for the funk. In Dubai, we got you. North and South Pole. I'm just trying to see how many things I can name. Egypt, we got you. All over there in China, in Japan, in Germany, Australia, we got you. What's up, mate, down under? I got you, Elizabeth in Ireland. Thank you for playing my stuff over there. Thank you, DJ Cocolino in Italy for pumping the nappy headphone for me. And thank you, DJ Monica in Switzerland for pumping our stuff over there. It's all good. I'm every woman. We got a woman today that's coming on, that's going to blow it up. She's going to bring it in, bring in the funk, bring in the noise, because you know how we do. We're closing out Black History Month right now with one of the best, one of the greatest all around the world for the funk. My funk sister, we're talking blood here, y'all. Nancy Marie is in the hit house. What's up, sweetie?
Well, sister, I like that. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Funk sister number one, all right?
You know that's a fact. You know that's a fact, man. You're looking good and everything. So first of all, as I always ask, and our show today is produced by none other than the amazing Mr. Mark Lee. So thank you, Mark, for doing everything you do. I appreciate you, bro, and all that good stuff. We couldn't do the show without you. And everybody on the chat line is going to tune in now, tune in later. It's all good because we got you, man. How's the family doing?
Everybody's well. Had a little bout with Covidia Lachey back in middle of December through January. So that was a trip. But we're all good. Everybody's fine. We're thriving. Wonderful things are happening. So we're in a good space.
Yeah. I know. I've been watching since the last time we spoke. You've been extremely busy, and I'm so proud to just see fam shine and blow up, man. Because when that happens, it's almost like it's happening for all of us, and you're an integral part of Black history. Um, obviously you studied USC and acting. We're going to get into all of that. I'm going to let you, kick it to everybody in a second. But I just wanted to acknowledge any birthdays or any anniversaries out there. Know that we at Funk from the Front Seat care about you guys, as well as transitions, which I mentioned, Amari and the Cam family. So he's up in heaven now. But for my audience that's just tuning in, before we dive deep into what's happening, of course, Billboard topping songwriter and singer and all that. Tell my audience who may not know a little bit about you, who you are, and kind of like your thing and what you do.
All right. Well, I'm Nancy Marie. I'm an award-winning author, playwright, songwriter, actress. I mean, I do it all. I like to call myself a jack of all trades, but kind of that is what I am. But I master everything that I do. I don't play with any of the gifts that God gave me. So I put my all into everything that I do. I am passionate about education, and one of my babies is the Black Education Station, which is the first streaming platform dedicated to the educational needs of Black children. So that's one of the organizations that I work with. I recently transitioned from the board of the Evalor House, which is the award-winning nonprofit organization dedicated to uplifting Black girls. And I served on their board for 14 years, and I am now transitioning over to the board of advisors because Evalor will always be a big part of my life. I found my most powerful gift to be my writing, because there are stories that aren't being told that need to be told. I just did a spoken word workshop at the school that I used to work at for 16 years. And the theme was Lift Every Voice and Sing. So workshop on the origin of that anthem, how it became our national anthem, how it became our national anthem before the Star Spangled Banner became America's national anthem. Lift Every Voice and Sing was our anthem for 12 years. So, of course, they look at what we do and they model it, they mock it, they, do what they do. So we did a whole workshop, and the children were so empowered, and the pieces that they wrote, it was just amazing. So, writing and education are really at the forefront of this fourth quarter of my journey. So
yeah. What's funny? You mentioned, I say that sometimes people misinterpret when I say that. I don't say that to be like, oh, it's my last, but I do say I'm on the back nine, right? And I think it's okay to say that, because I tell people, it's like, well, I look at it like longevity. I've been able to and blessed to do so many things. So I kind of take it as a badge of honor when I tell people that. I was like, yo, I'm in my fourth quarter. I'm always joking with my friend. I say, I'm in my third trimester. I joke around. Yeah, I put the pregnancy thing in.
Real, bro.
Yeah, right. I'm in my third trimester. Yo, don't mess with me. Just bring me bananas and chocolate chip cookies. And
yes, please. Absolutely.
That's funny. So, we're gonna dive more into theater in the X's in a minute, but I wanted to talk about the first of all, going back to We Sing a Black Girl Song. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's dive into that for a minute. Mark, in a little while, we'll show the promo that we have of it. But I wanted to get into that because I think that's very important, since this is Black History Month and we're talking a lot about our culture, which includes all cultures, because people steal from everything. And it's like we've been ripped off and robbed and raped and pillaged and plundered. They ran through us, destroying Black Wall Streets all over the place, messing with the money. Nobody never got their 40 acres and a mule except for Spike Lee. And he only got it posthumously on his films. You know what I'm saying? He got it. We didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? But tell us a little bit about that. We Sing a Black Girl Song.
So there's a powerful poet here in the city of Philadelphia. Her name is Rhonda Rise, and she developed this documentary, which is called "We Sing a Black Girl's Song." And the purpose was twofold: to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the play for colored girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow is enough by Ntozake Shange, and to also celebrate the release of a new book, Sing a Black Girl's Song, which contains some of her unpublished works. So there are works that Ntozake wrote that we have never even seen before, and they've just been released in a book. So the documentary paid tribute to Ntozake.
Wow.
And when I tell you, we filmed at the Colored Girls Museum here in Philadelphia. Listening audience, if you ever get a chance to come to Philadelphia, you must put that on your list as a thing to do. The curator, Vashti DuBose, actually turned her childhood home into this Colored Girls Museum. And when I tell you, it is one of the most phenomenal places you will ever get to visit in your life. The artifacts that she has on display, just amazing. So we got to film the documentary there. And I tell you, it was a gathering of sisters. So each of us was tasked to do a spoken word piece. And mine was entitled What Ntozake Said. We also did a sister circle, which you'll see in the promo, which, you know, the sisters just gathered around. We had one of the most awesome female drummers in the city, in the state, in the United States, in the world, Karen Smith, accompanying us on the drums. And when I tell you that sister circle was off the chain, brother. Oh my God, it was amazing. So we got to view the first cut of the documentary, and when I tell you, it literally brought tears to my eyes, and I can't wait for it to be released so that everybody can experience the messages, the power behind this documentary. We Sing a Black Girl Song.
Wow.
We Sing a Black Girl Song.
That is powerful.
Watch that.
That is powerful. You know, and congratulations on that. Let me ask you, as a entrepreneur and, you know, a mom, and, you know, all the things that you do, how do you balance your time? How do you manage your time? Because you're doing so many things all at a very high level. And I always want to ask individuals how they manage time, because we all manage our time differently. But how do you manage your time when you're trying to balance everything and make sure you put all the best possible energy, you know, at the same time into everything?
Honestly, that's just something I'm really just getting a hold of, because I used to just go at 150 all the time and would find myself getting burnt out and dropping the ball on so many things, you know, because I'd be going so hard for everything.
Yeah.
Not recognizing the need to pause, self-care, and, you know, all the important stuff that enables you to do the things that you do. So I have to learn how to prioritize which projects are the most important at this time. And, you know, I'll make sure that I'm focusing on those things and kind of put the other things on the back burner, and also make sure that I make time for myself and for family, because, you know, for a long time, it was just like go, 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 go. And then I get to the end of my rope and then everything would just fall apart. So, you know, you find time for the things that you have a passion for, and you do what you have to do what you want to do. So
Yeah.
it's all about number one, prioritizing what's important in this moment that absolutely has to get done. What can you kind of put on hold to get that main thing accomplished, and when is the time that you need to rest?
Yeah, 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 and that's important to build that, and that's something I found out as I've gotten older, to build in necessary rest. Not so much for the physical, but yes, for the physical, but more so for the mental.
Right.
The mental burnout. It's funny, Kevin and I was talking about a month ago, and we was like, yeah, now we know why our grandparents and moms and dad used to just sit on the porch and do this all day, right?
Yes, yes. Very
See?
necessary.
Yes, yes. I didn't know it then. I was like, man, y'all wasted time. They weren't wasting time. They
They
were
were
simply using their version of rebooting,
Yep.
So it was like,
Yeah.
looking at everything.
Yeah, I love to rock out, bro. Look.
Right. And I get that, man. That's dope. Mark says that's why he loved his grandmother, whatever. Say that again, Mark. He wants to glide it out.
Yo.
So, the amount of energy, and we're going to get into how people are treated in West Philly when it comes to Black artists and playwrights and things of that nature. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But I first wanted to mention, you're the author of The Bookstore.
Yes.
So tell our audience what that is and what that entails before we. Actually, let me set it up like this. Okay. 11 years you've been, working with Theater in the X. You've been there a long time. You're founding, I would say, pillar in that community when it comes to that, which was founded or helped put together by Walter DeShields, Carlo Campbell, I believe, and Laneshi Miller White. Does that make sense?
Lanesh Miller White.
Lanesh Miller White. Okay, good. Yeah.
Those are the founding fathers and our founding mother.
Okay, great. Yeah.
They had this vision, and they put together Theater in the X to address the needs of the Black community when it comes to theater, like making theater accessible to to our community. Like a lot of these ticket prices that we tried. I mean, Broadway is ridiculous, but Philadelphia can be equally ridiculous when it comes to a ticket price, So a lot of the people in our community can't afford to take their children to the theater. So they had this vision to go to Malcolm X Park, which is in the center of West Philadelphia on 52nd and Pine Streets. And they did a production in the park free of charge. It was supposed to be a one-off, a one-time thing, but due to the success, they were like, okay, what's next? The community needs us, and they've been doing it and doing it strongly ever since, and have expanded the programming to include productions in conjunction with some of the other theater companies here in the area. Last year, they did this bomb production called Pac and Biggie Are Dead. Bro, I wish you could have seen that show. Oh my God. And the actors that they had playing Tupac and Biggie, I'm going to send you a picture.
Yes.
Oh my God. Number one, they were dead ringers, but they captured the essence of those two icons to the point where you were like, okay, are we like really sitting in here, really watching Tupac and Biggie?
Yeah.
It was just one of the most phenomenal productions. And then another production that I was actually blessed to be a part of, and I think we talked about this on another show, was the all-Black production of Shakespeare's Richard III.
Yeah.
And that was met with critical acclaim, won a couple of awards. Unfortunately, Queen Elizabeth, who was me, lost out to Queen Margaret, who was Haharia McGill, who is a dynamic awesome force in the Philadelphia and nationwide theater community. She's been to North Carolina a couple of times with
Wow.
her one-woman show Sojourner. So
Okay.
you guys might be familiar with her. But
Okay.
yeah, I came in second place to her. She won the award for Best Supporting Performer that year. But when I tell you the work that Theater in the X is doing and the opportunities that they're presenting, right now they're doing the OG reading series, which is a series of 6 plays written by playwrights over the age of 55. So, of course, I qualified. Um, fourth quarter, here we go. And yeah, we're about to do our third reading. I actually read one of the plays that we just did by Richard Pierce, and that was phenomenal. Now I'll be reading in Karen Smith's production called 57. And then I'm the last OG. My play will be read in May, on May 13th.
Okay.
And it'll be the second stage reading of The Bookstore. Temple University did the first staged reading of the play, and that was just a phenomenal event to have Temple students reading my work. And so, like I said, May 13th, we'll be doing the staged reading of The Bookstore, which is a historical fictional drama based upon Sister Una Molzak and the Liberation Bookstore in Harlem,
Yeah.
and COINTELPRO operation that was launched by the FBI against the Black-owned bookstores across the nation. So that's the basis of the story. It's a phenomenal story. This one took me absolutely send me a friend request. I will accept you as soon as this interview is over, because I can't multitask. But Ariel, yes, please send me a friend request.
Me too. Look at this. See, this is why this show is so great. Organically, we can only get away with. But real quick, keep that thought. But I wanted to ask you, what is it like when you sit back and students of a prestigious college are vibing to your manifestation of letters, words, sentences, fat paragraphs, stories as it builds? What I got goosebumps just thinking about that. What is that like?
It inspires me to continue, because sometimes you get to that rut place, that it's levels. You have your peaks, you have your plateaus, and you have your valley moments. And sometimes you're on that precipice where you're about to dive into the valley, where that anxiety and that depression is, what am I doing this for? Is what I'm doing worth it? Maybe I should just sit back and rock out and not do nothing the rest of my life. And then you have a moment like that where somebody approaches you, random somebody on the street, be like, I saw you like 5 years ago and you said this, that, the third, and it changed my life. And I became a this, that, the other because of what you said or what you did. And I'm like, oh, that's all the juice in the battery I need to keep going. So yeah, I live for those moments. I really do. I really do.
I appreciate that you said it like that, because, and first of all, shout out to my wardrobe consultant today. I forgot to get you at the top seat, but I love you. Thank you, baby. So when we hear people echo our words and thoughts and back to us, it's really, to me, that's God's way of validate us to keep going when our batteries feel low. Because as an artist, man, we get drained. You're an empathic spirit. You're a spiritual woman. You're doing so many things that require a lot of energy. And I know we have the mindset of staying away from that dark energy out there that wants to suck you in. But I am always fascinated when a playwright or someone such as your ilk can put those words out and they're all in the right order, and it's read back and people in the audience, vibe to it. You were nominated by Broadway World. One of the, you and I did a little research more this time. I have more time. I had more time. So, although Mark didn't help me because I couldn't find him all week, but it's okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I couldn't find him all week. Mark is MIA, but Mark is like you. He literally is producing another show probably right now because that's what he does. He's really good at it, you know. But you were nominated, and there was a scene, and you played an elderly woman, and one of the quote out of the write up, the thing that said that got me is they said you were doing a crying scene that made people in the audience cry. It was like you were doing a scene.
That one.
Yeah, man. I'm looking at it right now. You played a part, and it was called Ordinary People.
That was the reading we just did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the stage reading we just did. Yeah. Richard Pierce's piece.
Yeah. And that one brought tears to some people, my friend. So yeah. So now when you when you can read something and drop a tear out of a person, that's powerful, man. That is powerful. That's ancestral powerful. That's DNA powerful. That's Anunnaki, Jesus Christ, God powerful. That's some powerful stuff to take a word and make a tear form in another human being.
Brother, I tell you, if you could read this play that Richard wrote, the basis of the play was, a family during the Great Depression, and this little girl who just had this hope and this vision and this belief that Jesus was going to come back, and this guy shows up. She's talking to her grandmother. I played the role of the grandmother, and she's looking out the window, said that this man's been standing there for a long time in the snow. And, we look out the window and, she invites him in, and his name happens to be Jesus Cristo, and he's a carpenter who's at the church, working on this stuff. And while he's in the house with them, all sorts of miracles start happening, but he also has a conversation with each one of the characters. And so it wasn't the fact of him working a miracle, or more so, it was him getting them to believe in themselves enough to make that miracle happen. So the storyline was just off the chain, number one. So when my scene, he asked me, what did I want? And I was like, you can't give me what I want, bring back my dead husband. And bro, I tell you, that scene was so powerful. The way it played out, the tears were easy because it was just the writing. I could connect to so much in the writing, being that spiritual being that had the bad church experiences and wondering if this God thing is real at all. And then to have, revelations come where it's like, we say this every time we get together, nobody coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. So to be able to connect to a piece like that pretty much articulates, what I'm feeling about us finding God in ourselves and loving him, loving her, loving fiercely, and knowing that, we have the power.
Yep. That's right.
It's not about an outside savior. Everything that we need is in us.
That's right. The kingdom of heaven lives within. And we're hanging out today with the amazing Nancy Marie, all her accolades and all the many more things that she's getting ready to do. I'm honored to have her back on the show once again. You said something that I want to touch on, that we have it. And see, the way I look at it, I don't want to hear too many more excuses about Black people can't do things, Black people can't do that. That's BS. Because in my mind, what I'm seeing is you guys, and Bootsy told me this, Pepper Patty, love y'all. They tell me this all the time. And Brenda, I hope you're feeling better in Ohio. Funk is making something out of nothing. That's what funk is, making something out of nothing. And the fact that this can be done means that it can be duplicated and done. So there are no excuses about, oh, I can't do this, or I can't get that grant, or this person won't work with me, or this place closed down. You guys have proven without a doubt over a long period of time, over 10 years, that something can be made out of nothing if you apply yourself and listen to your inner spirit and trust the creator. You gotta, I don't get on my soapbox about God. I won't do that. But I can say that without that light, it's a wrap for you. Whoever can't see that, I feel bad for them. It's, I can't help them. I feel bad. It could be my kids, it could be whoever. I feel bad because that light comes from somewhere. This is just a rental suit. That's all it is. We're borrowing this. I don't know why I picked out this model that had like 10 flat tires, but them surgeries. So next time through, I'm picking out a better model. Right now, I think I got the Edsel. I got the Edsel, bro.
Listen, the word says we have what we say.
Yeah,
so could it be that all this negative rhetoric that comes out of our mouths about ourselves is the reason why we stay in the positions we say, because that's what we're speaking?
Yep, that's right. It's funny because, and I'm gonna mention some names to you in a minute, but this is so good because we're just getting in it now. Black artists and young hip hoppers and rappers are the only culture that talks bad about our people on their records. No other culture is doing that. Only us. Now that's by design, of course, and thank you guys for all tuning in. Please know that we love you, and we'll get to your comments and all that good stuff, man. And I love the fact that, this conversation is seeking other people to join us. And we love you for that. But we're the only artists that do that. And that's not by accident. The Harlem Renaissance, Langston Hughes, James Van Der Zee, Gene Toomer, I believe, Wallace Thurman, Nessa Larson, Claude McKay, Zora Neale Hurston. When I say those names to you, what rings out to you as far as their spirit? Because we do have the capability of channeling sometimes. I know that. So when I say those names to you, my dear, what rings out?
It's funny that you would say that, because even with the bookstore, there were moments where I was calling out, I was crying out. Now, I have a reputation, and Kevin can attest to this. Back in the day, when I stumbled upon my songwriting career, because what would happen is, we would be in the basement rehearsing whatever, and, we take a break. The guys might start shedding, and I would hear something, and I would just, okay, play that again. I got a song. So I got this reputation, and one of my students said, give Nancy Maria an idea. She'll have it completed in 3 to 5 business days. And I was cracking up because
I love it.
But that was my reputation, and it's, especially with the music, I would be completing songs in like 5 minutes. So when it got to the bookstore and I got the idea, and I'm like, oh, I'll have this finished in a week. It took me 3 years to complete that play. And I'm working on another play around the same time frame. And I'm under an NDA right now, so I can't disclose who it's about, but it's about 3 powerful people that we're all familiar with. And so saying all that to say, I would just be like calling. I was like, okay, I need y'all to speak to me. Like, what's going on? And, I would get the answer that I needed. You know what I'm saying? So for the Zora Neales, what Harlem Renaissance people, it just speaks of a time of classiness and excellence, and people who were not afraid to speak their truth, and it's just thinking about them actually causes me to well up inside, because the work that they did, the things that they wrote about, is, just amazing, just phenomenal. And, no shame to my game. I'm 62 years old, and there are works that I am just now discovering, that I had no idea existed. We know about Langston Hughes. We don't know enough about Lorraine Hansberry and the things that she did, outside of, Raisin in the Sun. They did a production here, in Philadelphia, Egopo Classic Theater, which is one of another phenomenal theater company here in Philadelphia, who partnered with Theater in the X. And they did a production of Les Blancs, which was one of Lorraine Hansberry's plays that was set in South Africa during the apartheid. Man, let me tell you, we don't know the impact and the power that Lorraine Hansberry had. So it fills me with pride to know that, because my pen is one of my mightiest weapons, my voice and my pen.
Yeah.
I come from that lineage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We may not be blood related, but we probably are. But I come from that lineage, and I've been placed in this 21st century to carry on that work.
Yep, that's right.
And to impart to the generation coming behind me to make sure that the work continues.
Amen.
Because they're doing everything they can to try to silence us.
Oh, God, yeah, we're going to get into that, too, for sure. It's funny because I was reading something about metaphysics and the other day, and this lady, she was telling a story, and she came from Iraq and the Burke and the whole bit. Now she works for NASA. But she was saying in our DNA, talking about channeling things, we're actually able to do that a lot if we just put our minds to it. What I love what you said, and what I want to get a point across to any person that's watching this show, be they young or old, is that we need to continue legacies, okay? Because obviously they tore down every Black Wall Street. There were Black-owned businesses. Harlem was a place where everybody wanted to be.
Yep.
Everybody wanted to come there. It was an energy there. I wasn't born in those times, but my father used to tell me the stories. It was an energy there, and it was a pride there. It wasn't like separatism, but it was a pride. It was like, okay, if y'all don't want to do this for us right now and you're treating us like this, we're going to blow up our own, and blow it up even bigger and better, because the culture of what we were saying was new to America. America had only known us coming here as free people turned into slaves. So we didn't come over here as slaves. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so when those amazing, beautiful spirits, men and women, were penning those things to paper, they were actually creating a history that they wanted us to carry on. Yeah. And I know they did, because you're here. I'm here. Kevin's here. That's very, very important. And like you said, we got to now pass that down to our younger generation and make sure they know. And this is what's weird. And you can testify to this. And Mark, I'm gonna let you get in because I know this is right up your alley. The way that a lot of young Black Americans and Asian and African and Spanish Americans get their information now is by way of Europe coming back for stuff that was started here. Somebody will get something, that's Asiatic or Japanese or whatever, and they'd be like, oh, we got that there. But no, that came from here. So how did it get there and skip over a generation of people here? That's by design.
It is by design. It's all by design. It's all by design. One of the points I made in the workshop, with the whole thing, about us developing the Negro national anthem. And then 12 years later, here they come with the Star Spangled Banner as America KKK's national anthem, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's, and I had to stress to the children, I said, you are the innovators. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't have what it takes to create something wonderful and to build a legacy. Everything that's being instilled in children right now is so anti-legacy.
Oh
That
God, yes.
finances, they're not taught financial literacy. They're not taught, things that would really help them set themselves up and establish themselves. They're basically, and we talked about this before, Prussian education system was designed to create slaves. So that's the education system that we adopted as our education system. So it's not about teaching entrepreneurship, teaching financial literacy, teaching them ways to be able to create generational wealth.
Yeah.
So that their kids, you could give your child $25,000 to put a down payment on the house, and it's no sweat, no pressure. We don't have to take out these loans. We're not taught these kind of things. And you're right, it's by design to keep us in bondage, to keep us working to build other people's visions and empires. And then you get to the end of your tenure, and what do? You get this gold watch so you can sit back and watch how much time you don't have to build your own legacy, to build your own empire.
That's right.
It's all by design. It's all by design.
It is. And see, and there is enough for all of us to be successful. We just have to stop doing the foolishness out there. I don't want to hear there are no black dollars. I don't want to hear there are no black billionaires. We got all of that now. It's just how it's got to be applied.
For one day. Shut down black spending for one day. And watch the economy collapse.
Exactly.
One day. Guaranteed.
Exactly. That's why we got to be smart, and we have to understand that even though we know, and this is no offense to any white brothers and sisters, because I love all y'all. It's all good. It ain't about that. We know in the end that corporate dollar is going to speak. And like you said, if we shut it down, they would have to take notice, because that's how every movement is started.
Right.
Please sit back and relax, y'all. Okay.
I was just going to say, the thing is, right now as a people, we're so divided. And that's why they're so successful.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I guarantee if we ever came together as a people, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
A wrap. So they're doing everything in their power to make sure we stay divided.
Yeah. See, the kingdom of heaven lives within. It's divine, and it's a real place. It's a real thing. It's a real feeling. And when you shut that down and close off people's third eye, you don't give people opportunity. You take away the creativity part. We're all binary code, ones and zeros. We got our corporate side in our brains, and we got the creative side. And if you take away the ability to reproduce, the ability to think and critically think outside the box, the ability to understand, if I shoot this person, I could literally be shooting my own flesh and blood, because we're all related. We come from the Father. So if we all come from the Father, why do we want to kill one of our brothers and sisters? It never made any sense to me. On the other side, we're going to come back and bring Mark in. We're hanging out with the amazing Nancy Marie. We got much more to talk about. We unpeeling these onions. Y'all stay active on the chat. We got comments coming through. But right now, I'm going to take a short pause for the cause. Y'all sit back, relax, because I want to hear from my guy, Keith Jackson.
Hey, this is Keith Jackson with P-Funk Radio, inviting you to check out my brother Zach Robinson with Funk from the Front Seat. Saturdays, 12 noon on the East Coast and 9 a.m. on the West Coast. It all happens on 9 on the Grind TV and also on YouTube. Great guest, great conversation each and every Saturday. That's Funk from the Front Seat with Zach Robinson on 9 on the Grind TV and YouTube. Check him out.
This is Joe Keys of Joe Keys and the Late Bloomer Band. Just did a show with my man Zach. Number 9. That's right. Number 9's got it going on. Check out Funk from the Front Seat. Zach Robinson.
Wiggle worm here, baby. Yeah, and I'd just like to say congratulations to my man Zach. Yeah, Club Funketeer number 9. Keeping that funk on the shine for his 2nd year anniversary of his show, Funk from the Front Seat. It don't get no better unless you jump in the back seat and then jump back in the front seat. On the one. Yeah, keep that funk alive.
Hey, it's Chrissy Key Rollins here with Holistic Restoration, inviting you to check out Zach Robinson with Funk in the Front Seat. He drops new episodes every Saturday at noon on the East Coast time, and replays are posted for whenever you miss a live stream. You can find him on 9 on the Grind TV and also on YouTube, and get ready for the funk because he brings it every week, along with hot topics, amazing guests, and great conversations. Again, that's Zach Robinson with Funk from the Front Seat on 9 on the Grind TV and YouTube. Go check them out.
Hey, this is Jen Vanderputten, writer of Code and Prose. You are watching Funk from the Front Seat with Zach Roberson. Tune in every Saturday at noon for excellent and important conversation.
Hey fam, what's goody good? What's really good? My name is Jeff Roberson from the gospel group called Jeff Roberson and New Life. And I'm coming to you from the town that we had to name it twice. It's so nice. New York, New York. And I'm bringing you some news about my brother from another mother, Brother Zach, who's bringing you his hot new show called Funk from the Front Seat. Listen, he's bringing you funk from the vault, from the past, from the present, and into the future. He's got that music that makes the hair on the back of your neck rise up. He's bringing you funk all the way down to your toes. This is that funk that makes you really want to groove. Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial as he brings you funk from the front seat. Listen, let's go.
Shout out to all my dogs, JT, RPP, Funk Radio, Gabe Gonzalez, Larry Funkster, Jones Robbins, Circle of P, Bootsy and Patty, of course, HA Entertainment, Kane and Jams, Tony Cam, and the Funk also, Nappyhead Funk Army, and Nappyhead Funk Army 2.0, Oak City Music Collective, my booking agency down here, Diego, I love you. Afterglow 92416, Donna, I love you so much. Q&A Entertainment, thank you, Otis. I really needed that call the other day. That was dope. Brooke Clagett, my Funk Angel, I will see you soon. Love TXS Energy Drinks, I just finally heard from you, so I'm going to need some more of those. Patricia Dioria, Aquarius Rising Arts and Graphics. Curtis Wilcox, my dog. Thank you for hooking me up with some special guests. And a big shout out to my peeps over in California. LL, I love you, sweetheart. I'll talk to you soon. And George the Funk Vinci. Dr. Brookenstein, I love you, man. Thank you for everything you do. Part of the Nappyhead Funk Army. I mentioned DJ Cocolino, DJ Elizabeth in Ireland, DJ Monica in Switzerland, and Tani Sosist in Germany. Shout out to Robin Circle P and David Webb of the Funk Chronicles, my OGs, the Nappyhead Funk Army. We are inducted into the Funk Hall of Fame in Dayton, Ohio this summer. And that's like some amazing stuff that, you know, only can be happened by the funk guys up there. And everybody else that's watching, man, you know, we appreciate you guys. Stay active on the chat line. We're going to continue our amazing conversation with our guest today, Nancy Marie, and we're going to chop it up about some serious stuff because we're in serious times, Nancy, and we know that our artistical spirituality is under attack. And if you could sit down with a young person today and explain to them how important it is to maintain civility and squelch the violence, right? How do we talk to these young people and get them to understand the value of their own lives?
It's really not much that we can say before we model the behavior. Because right now they look at our generation as a joke. They look at us as the generation that let them down. So for us to try to preach to them, you know, it will be a moot point, you know, seriously, because they're kind of looking at us sideways, like, you know, you guys created this mess and here we are. But however, it starts with the light shining. You know, it starts with your light shining. It starts with you being genuine. Let them see something in you. When they see something in you, then they'll and I'm gonna give you a perfect example. When I did the workshop this past week, at the very end, a young man stood up and spoke. He said, I'm going to be honest with you. In the beginning, I wasn't feeling you. He said, but as you went on and I saw that light in you, you know, you endeared me to you. And I am grateful to have been in your presence. And I'm serious about this writing thing now. I want to do this. So, I mean, it's the same thing. Let them see that thing in you. Let them know that, there is a better way. But again, we have to model it first.
Yeah.
We have to make it look desirable.
Yeah.
So we can't just come at them, y'all need to get your own together and that. They'll look at you sideways like, what did you do to get this together? So it starts from within. It starts from that light just radiating and drawing them.
Yeah.
Jesus, and Jesus would walk the street. He was like, you come here, you better get your act together. Right? He'd walk the streets and people were drawn to him. You know what I'm saying? Because there was something in him.
Yeah.
That they wanted, and it's like that same thing is in us.
Yeah.
Right? But they need to see it coming out of us, and then we could let them know, you know what, baby, the same thing that I have in me, you got it in you. You just have to make the decision.
Yeah. Yes.
You have to make a different decision.
It comes down to a lot of times these choices that we have now in front of us, and when I look back at things that happened in my life and the choices I made, both good and bad, it made me the person I am today. But the choices necessarily in the past don't make me today, because I'm a different person with different data comes a different mindset, different points of view. I wanted to ask you again, and we're going to bring Mark. You want to jump in, Mark? Because I want to get back into the 1968 FBI war on Black-owned bookstores. I think that's very, very important for people to understand. This was a real thing. You may read about it now, but it affected millions and millions of people. So I wanted to ask you, Nancy, Harlem and Moscow, Red Flags from the Griot Black podcast. That's something that's really, really special. But why did it have to happen with Russia, do you think? What was that significance?
So what was happening was, at this point in time in the Harlem Renaissance, the USSR, which was, the new Soviet Union, had only been in existence for about, I think, 10 years maybe. And then for those of us who don't know, and I have to keep looking because I always forget, it's the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, all right? That's what the USSR stands for. So, of course, a socialistic society is supposed to be different from the democracy that we live under. So when they got the invite, these Black Harlem Renaissance people, Langston Hughes and Dorothy West, and the people who went over to Moscow to shoot this film, they had high expectations. They thought that they weren't going to experience the racism that they were experiencing in the United States. They thought that it would be different. And when they got over there, it was, the rose-colored glasses was still on. So the first couple of days were beautiful. And then all of a sudden, like the sledgehammer fell, and the script had so many racist elements. They wanted the women to be dancing like jigaboos, if you will. And Langston Hughes was like, no, we're not going with this storyline. And because of Langston Hughes's pushback, the whole project was just nixed. And they were like stuck over in Russia, for a time of times because of this. So, again, we are a hopeful people, we are trustful, but then, you go into a situation again with it's labeled as one thing, right? You got to Black Lives Matter, right? Everybody's wearing the t-shirt and the hat, the Black Lives Matter. But then when you get up underneath that movement, you find out that the lives don't really matter, or they only matter for a certain thing,
Yeah.
what's convenient for me for it to matter. I say the lives matter so I could get those grant dollars to put in my pocket and do a little bit for the Black people and pocket the rest for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes we label stuff as one thing, but it's a totally different animal. So
yeah, it is. Mark, jump in there, bro.
Yeah, well, a couple of things I was curious about, and I'd love to hear Nancy's thoughts about what I'm getting ready to bring up. But along those same lines, there were a number of artists, and there was a number of artists that moved, not necessarily to live in Russia, but they moved to France. You mentioned one of them, Josephine Baker, and definitely Baldwin, and a number of others spent a lot of time there and everything. And there was a feeling about the way that the United States was, particularly in the 60s and before, and definitely in the Harlem Renaissance. So there was a feeling that socialism might be a better solution, and all along those lines. So there were a number of artists that got caught up in the Red Scare, because we know the Red Scare was a very big thing. So a number of our artists got caught up in that as well. But I just wanted your take on that, Nancy, because I do know that a number of our artists got caught up in that kind of scare. And then I had another follow-up kind of question as well. But I just wanted your take on that Red Scare, because I think it's still something that our artists get caught up in to this day.
So you're referring to how many of our artists got blacklisted because they decided to align themselves with the socialist movement. I mean, and that even it's still happening, and the play that I'm currently working on, that I'm under an NDA about, there's an element of that. One of the protagonists of that play actually experienced that because they decided to align themselves with the Communist Party. Mm-hmm. So it's all, everything boils down to control. Mm-hmm. They have to keep us in cages, if you will. They have to be able to monitor our every move. And if we align ourselves with something that's going to kind of loosen those chains a little bit and give us a little bit of movement, they have to find another tactic. So what better way than to blacklist you, so that, you lose your livelihood, you lose the things that could potentially create independence for you. So now you have to recant your beliefs, your sentiments, so that, they can extend a hand and give you back the things that are already yours anyway, give you back your freedom, quote unquote, whatever. So yeah, it's all, it's all a part of the machine. It's all
I know when the blacklisted thing happens to anybody in any circumstance, it automatically affects your self-esteem. Yeah. And they realize that. And when your self-esteem, that's right. And when your self-esteem is affected, you cannot be effective. You can have the greatest gift in the world. But if it's affected like that, the Sistine Chapel never would have been painted if they would have messed with that man's self-esteem, things like that. We never would have had some of the greatest, works of music and art had those people not persevered through tougher times,
right?
Through times where they were reading in the dark, in the closet, writing, with what my father said, there were times when they would use coal to pen stuff, his parents, before the pens and pencils, things like that. So Mark, jump in.
Yeah, I was going to say, but Zach, along those same lines, because we're seeing it right now, there is a very popular singer that is definitely going on, and there is a musical style. It isn't funk music, but it's a musical style that exists, and Beyonce decided to perform some music within that style. And yes, I'm talking about country music, and there is definitely a lot of people, including in the country music radio stations, that are refusing to play her music, and there are some people that are even counter-protesting and all along those lines. So I just wanted your take on that, because we know that the banjo and a number of the instruments that country music is based on literally came out of our culture and everything. So the fact that they won't play her, and actually we have a local artist, Rihanna Giddens, who was a member of the Carolina Chocolate Drops, that is providing the banjo on that particular one of those songs. I think it's Texas Hold'em is the one that she's on and everything. But I just wanted your take on how they oftentimes reclaim the music. I mean, there are quite a few instruments. If y'all heard in the background, I've got the Durham Symphony practicing. They're actually walking out the door now, and I know that some of those symphony instruments were also come from the African American community as well. But I was just wondering your take on how we don't acknowledge that part of what's going on as well.
Because again, if we start learning the truth about us, how much we created, what we're responsible for, the things that were done to us, if that truth starts getting out, it's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wrap. So but right now they have to acknowledge because those very stations that refuse to play Texas Hold'em,
Mm-hmm.
Now that Texas Hold'em is number 1 on the country charts, and her other song, I don't know the name of it, is number 16, they're singing a different tune. So now, because they're singing that different tune, because Beyonce has positioned herself, now that they kind of have to, I see people on Instagram all the time. Oh, I have to apologize because now I found out that Black people invented the banjo, or that Black people did. So they're recanting their statements. They have to. So, kudos to the people who are brave enough to know that, okay, I'm going to do something. I'm going to have to suffer some isolation. I'm gonna have to suffer some stuff for a minute. But if we endure for a while, man, the light that's going to come and break through those shackles, it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? We just have to stand 10 toes down and be uncomfortable for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't play with any of the gifts that God gave me. I didn't mean to interrupt you. That's a powerful statement right there. Thank you for that. That was one of the comments that came through. I
tried to respond to y'all in the comments, but they needed me to log into YouTube, and ain't nobody got time for all that. I can't multitask like that. My brain don't function like that.
I know that's right. Just really quickly along those same lines, and then I'll definitely let y'all wrap up and everything, because Zach does such an amazing job with this show, and I love what he does with Funk from the Front Seat and everything. But Nancy and Zach, my quick question to both of you is, you mentioned gentrification and the Black bookstores, and I would argue that is still an issue today. As a matter of fact, there is a lesbian-based African-American store here that is facing gentrification and is trying to stay alive here in Durham, North Carolina. Hell Room and all along those lines. And many years ago, we lost the No Bookstore, which is a very popular African-American bookstore here in Durham as well. So what is our thoughts about how gentrification is impacting our bookstores and just impacting the culture in general? Because I've seen a number of things that have been threatened and have been railroaded out. I imagine these even happened up there in Philly. Some of the popular stores are probably not there that used to be there.
Yep. And I mean, like, you look at Harlem, where it all started. There's no logical reason why the Liberation Bookstore, number one, is not open. Number two, is not a historical landmark. That place was, aside from Michelle's bookstore, which was a couple of blocks away, that was the spot. Malcolm X, people coming in there. And it wasn't a big one. It was, it was a small, quaint, intimate space, but the knowledge that poured out and the way Sister Una just poured into the people that came through there. Like, this is the stuff we need. Now we have one, we have a couple. We have Harriet's bookstore here in Philadelphia. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Harriet's bookstore, but Janine is a bad mamma jamma. But Janine gets on horseback dressed as Harriet to deliver books to her customers.
Wow.
Okay.
That's deep.
Okay, so we have Harriet's, and their sister bookstore is Ida's, and that's I think it's in Collingswood. They're facing, they just had to have a raise the rent party because they were facing, having to find a new location. And so, they're trying to move us out of everywhere. The redlining that's going on and the things that here in Philly, the major universities, Drexel and UPenn, are the biggest culprits. When I moved to Philadelphia and we got our first apartment, I'm sorry, our first house that we rented, I should say, we were in what is known as the bottom, which is, you know, where University of Pennsylvania and Drexel University are located. And University City High School is where 3 of my children went to school. And my second to youngest son, Matthew, was actually in the last graduating class of that school, which was made check this out, you know, UPenn and Drexel, you know, doing stuff, taking stuff over. They turned it into a Promise Academy, right?
Right.
Yeah, so you know, we ain't even gonna talk about the Promise, right? But you know, today the school has been demolished and these condos stand in its place, and they took a little piece of the property and built this little school, and you know, that's cute. You know, I guess that's their give back or whatever. But UPenn and Drexel are taking West Philadelphia over. And you know, most recently there was this affordable housing on the corner of 40th and Market Street. They kicked all of those people out. They're going to, I don't know what they're doing with that particular building, but they are going to transform it into something. And they gave these people housing vouchers to go find new housing. But the problem is there's no affordable housing for them to go to. And then here's the other thing. Like, you know, I know, like, I love basketball. I love my 76ers. However, I don't know if y'all heard about this. They're trying to build. Have you got either of you ever been to Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I visited Dr. Brooks a few times. Yeah, I've been to Philly a lot.
You familiar with the gallery?
Yes.
Okay. So you know that they just tore down the gallery and rebuilt it, you know, billions of dollars to turn it into the what do you call it? The fashion district.
Right.
Which was supposed to be on par with Rodeo Drive. You know, now COVID came in and kind of jacked all that up. The high-end retailers that were supposed to move in there, they didn't. So it didn't quite work out that way. So now here's the conversation. Like I said, billions of dollars, right? They're trying to tear most of that down and build the Philadelphia 76ers a stadium. Where they have a stadium in South Philadelphia that was just built. Ain't nothing wrong with the stadium. The stadium is beautiful. Now they do have to share it with the Philadelphia Flyers, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with the stadium, right? So at first it was, you know, this won't involve any of the taxpayer dollars. Okay. Now our new mayor is saying, yeah, well, you know, with the tax dollars would pay for this, but they're going to build this apartment complex on top of the stadium. And, you know, there's going to be 20% of the units will be dedicated to affordable housing. Y'all are full. I'm sorry, I'm not going to cuss on the air, but that's some beat.
It is totally.
Yes, totally changing the landscape of Philadelphia, driving the mom and pop businesses out of existence. I mean, I go back to my old neighborhood and I'm like, what is this? It doesn't, I mean, there's nothing there that I can even relate to or hold on to. Yeah. So yeah, it's a bunch of bull crap. But you know what? People, we gonna get tired eventually.
Eventually. And you know, you're absolutely right, because here I'm part of a growing organization. We don't have a name for it yet, but it's the Tenants Union, and we're actually trying to fight for affordable housing. I just drove through West Durham, I believe, Mark, down by Midland Avenue, over that area. I went through there, and I imagined what it was like when it was in its heyday, and everything is boarded up, everything is closed, everything is rotten, the buildings are falling apart. Some of them are set on fire by the vagrants. They're sleeping in the buildings. And I thought to myself, this is only a stone's throw from Duke University, a stone's throw from NC Central, a stone's throw from UNC, right? On one hand, you know, one of the most prestigious teaching hospitals and universities, Duke. And on the other hand, you got this area where there is no love being shown to it, and no politicians even care about it. And it's been gentrified. It's been yuppified. If you notice now, everything they build, they're building those yuppified stores like Chipotle in the communities now with the apartment complexes on top. So you got your doctor, you got your dentist, you may have like an AutoZone, you may have these things set in place. It's almost like they're building these tiny little kingdoms like Games of Thrones, and the rest of us are going to be running around like those people in the ice. You know what I mean? I don't get it, man. And see, like you said, Nancy, we're tired already. I'm surprised it hasn't exploded yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
But Zach, along those same lines and everything, what Nancy was just talking about, that exists here as well, because oftentimes they will build these apartment complexes. And as I've talked to some friends of mine, a number of those apartment complexes are actually sitting empty. So the homeless could actually be in those apartment complexes because they're nowhere near full, but they will sometimes set around a 20 to 25% set aside that is supposed to be for a designated income group and all along those lines. And then you got to apply to get in there, and those applications can be forever to get in that, and it takes a long time. And as you just said, Zach, sometimes they will build the super fancy ones right next to the ones that are supposed to be more Section 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to my peeps in California, Lisa Love. I love you. They're actually going to be on the show next week, so we bringing some more funk with that. But Lisa, she's dope, man. She's good people. When we look at how we need to maintain our mother wit, and not blow over so we lose track of the ultimate goal. I think as gatekeepers, which we all are on this panel, we need to not that we need, but we're actually doing it, but we have to continue the fight. And I'm just asking everybody out there, if you know anybody, wherever you are, it doesn't matter, that you could reach out and help and send some love and positivity to, please do that. Do it every day, because that's what is needed in this world and in this country as spirits of light. That's what we all do. We're hanging out today. It was amazing. Nancy Marie, we were honored to have, you spend some time with us and continue all of these works and all of these journeys that you're doing. You my funk sister, so you know how it go. Me, you and Kev, you know how that go.
Yes.
So I'm gonna give you the full screen and let you just kind of take us home with that. Mark, you have any last words first?
No, just that I was enjoying the conversation. Nancy is always doing powerful things, and I know that her and Kevin are always doing some amazing things in the cultural world and all along those lines. So definitely have a great deal of respect for those two individuals. So Nancy, I've definitely got some great respect for you, and we'll have to find a way to get you to get your films and some of the other things here into Hayti and some of the other places that I'm involved with, as we were talking about before the show and all along those lines. So we definitely have to make that happen for.
So I need y'all's prayers on this. I need y'all's prayers on this, because I submitted the bookstore to the North Carolina Black Repertory Company Sylvia Sprinkley Hamlin Rolling World Premiere Award. So I should know something. I might be coming your way with the bookstore. So, kind of keep your fingers crossed for me.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. And we know that Sylvia, along with her late husband, Larry Leon Hamlin, were the founders of the definitely National Black Theater Festival, which I have gone to on a regular basis and I regularly attend and everything. So definitely there are a number of folks that are involved in that space. And I know that I want to say that this might be the year of it coming. I need to double check, because they had switched from the even years when they used to be on the odd years and everything. But definitely it is a amazing festival, and hopefully we'll see you down here in North Carolina being honored, because they are definitely what I'm going to be trying to manifest and all along those lines. But
it's already done as far as I'm concerned. You're already here. I want to give a shout out to how is it affordable housing when they raise the rent every year? And you're absolutely right, George. Thanks for that comment. Because it's not, and of course, Lisa Love gave you the so you got another funk sister that you just met out there on the West Coast. And thank you for getting up early, Lisa. I appreciate that. We have the power. We can do it. So, check this out. I'm going to give you the last word. I know you got to get out of here and, get on with your day and finish doing these things. But I sincerely am so proud an honor to be in your circle, man. And it's just a blessing, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you kick it, and then we're gonna get.
I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. And I want to encourage you to do what it is that you were placed here to do. We do what we have to do what we want to do. You were placed on this earth to impact somebody else. And what you have inside of you is special. Two of the most powerful gifts you have are your voice and your pen. If you can't write it, speak it. And if you can't speak it, write it. I love you all, and I look forward to joining you on another day, on another journey. Please follow me on social media. I promise I will follow you back. Be at peace, be in love, be you. Peace.
You were on mute, Zach.
I thought it was me.
No, you're on mute. Zach, we don't hear you. You're on mute.
Once again, I want to say thank you for coming in, Nancy. I appreciate everything that you've done. Sir Nose tried to get me at the last minute on the show with the mute button, but I wasn't going to let that happen because I was trying to get this music right, too. So we want to let everybody know, please join us every Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for my West Coast beauties out there. And Nancy Marie, you are every woman. We love you. Thank you. We appreciate you. You guys have a great day. Funk from the Front Seat, 9 on the Grind TV. So if you're around the world and you're feeling this funk and you want to clap your hands, it's okay. If you want to get up and dance, that's okay too. And just move a little bit like this and get your day started with a little funk from the front seat. We love y'all. I'll see y'all next time. New York City, Philly, you in the house? Cali, I know y'all out there in the West Coast, Las Vegas, Nevada. I know you in the house. Alaska, hit me up. I only got one hit from y'all last time. I need that. Colombia, my Puerto Ricans, where y'all at? Down in Puerto Rico. My people from Haiti. My people from Jamaica. I met somebody from Belize the other day. Ukraine, Russia. We know y'all are at odds. All my brothers and sisters in the Middle East. We got to figure out this war thing. We ain't got no business over there. We need to let y'all figure that out, all right? Germany, thank you so much, Tanny Soul Sister, for always playing my spiritual funk. I love you. Hit me up sometime so I can get you on the show. Remember, peace, love, and harmony. That's the only way we're going to make it. It's all about that love thing, y'all. A big shout out to my girl, Mian Bryant, up there in Detroit. I know you rocking it. I watch your videos every day. Shout out to C, my wardrobe consultant. Thank you, sweetheart. I love you for that. And George the Funk Da Vinci. You are the man. Flag on the funk. All around the world for the funk. I'll see y'all next time. Y'all take care. Peace. You are every woman, Nancy. Woo! I'm feeling good now. I'm ready to go. Let's go out and do this today, y'all. Let's make it happen, Mark. Good production today, Mark. You get lunch on me, bro. I drop it off for you. You know I gotta take care of my guy. Yo, Kev, I love you, man. We got something coming. Yo, Nancy, I don't know if you heard, but I sent them. We got something coming. What you gonna do when the grid goes down? You know?
All right. And congratulations on the induction. That is freaking awesome.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing. You know, we wrote Fly on the Wall in 1998, 99, and to be a fly on the wall in the Hall of Funk and have that come true like that, yo, is better than the Hall of Fame to me.
Yes.
So, it's just it's great. And I can't wait to get up there and do that whole thing and And Alpha Omega, thank you for the shout out. Lisa Love, George the Funk Da Vinci, staying active on the chat line. Thank you guys so much. I know Dr. Brooks is probably listening. Kevin, thank you. Of course, who else is on the chat line today? Oh, let me check it out. Oh, okay. Alpha Omega, right? A-N-A-H. Is that pronounced right? You think that's right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you anyway. I appreciate that. We really do. And LL, we love you for that. That's dope too. So y'all can go back and watch this show today at 6 o'clock and then again at 12 o'clock, right, Mark?
Yep. And Ace Stringer also gave you a shout out as well.
We got them coming in, yo. We got the Skunk Mob. We got Lisa Love. So it's going to be dope, man. And thank you for ending our Black History Month on Funk from the Front Seat in such a classy way, Nancy. I appreciate that. It means the world to me, man. So that's amazing that we could even do this long. Y'all take care out there. See you later.
Peace.